Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is our Thursdays 13, the day where we list off 13 things on a list. Roger's opinion anyways. The most quotable movies. 13 top most quotable movies. It's not all of the movies ever, so let us know in the comments below if you disagree with them or we missed some because it's our list, right? This is Before Coffee, the father and daughter comprehensive news. My brain just completely. I've done this intro for 2 years and my brain just. Comprehensive news of planet Earth. There we go. That's what I have to say. Where we look up our news 10 to 15 minutes before we started, and we haven't had any caffeine. I think I need double espresso today. Goodness. So let's get into our headlines and see what we're talking about on today's show. Today on Before Coffee, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni shuts down UK-France plan and says, "We will not send Italian soldiers to Ukraine."
Good morning. Hello, everybody. We live in the age of stupid. So U.S. measles cases are on the rise after first death. We'll see which states had the worst outbreaks.
Huge fire in the center of Arnhem. A lot of historical buildings have been destroyed.
And I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum. We're going to talk about the top 13 most quotable movies.
In our culture segment, Glastonbury Festival 2025 lineup is announced. Olivia Rodrigo, the 1975, and Charlie XCX, the headline.
It's National Oreo Cookie Day, so if you like the stuff in the middle, that's who we are. We're the stuff in the middle. March 6, 2025 on Before Coffee.
Do you love the stuff in the middle? I mean, of course, I got in an argument more like I had a friend who said they only like vanilla Oreos, so I had to call him out on social media saying, cancel this guy. You only like the vanilla Oreos? How could you?
Of course, it's mere sarcasm. You were canceling.
Of course. I wasn't being serious. But,
we know the right wing is so sensitive. They're going to hurt your feelings.
You know what is serious, of course? Our wheel of segues. So let's get that rolling. So we know what random thing we have to say. Or I guess what random thing you have to say.
Right.
We've got the non sequitur.
I get that a lot, man. That wheel is broken.
Get those reasonings unreasoned.
All right.
For my first story, we're talking about Giorgia Meloni, the Italian Prime Minister. This is on Live Mint by ravaged. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has forced strong reservations about a proposal from France and the UK to send European troops to Ukraine. Meloni stated, "Italy has expressed doubt regarding the proposal of France and the UK on sending European troops. I think it is very difficult to implement. I am not sure about its effectiveness. That's why we announced that we will not send Italian soldiers to Ukraine," Meloni told Rai 1 TV. Meloni emphasized that all parties share the same objective, ensuring a lasting and secure peace for Ukraine. After all, everything has the same goal, to bring just peace to Ukraine. Just peace, the key word there. Not just any peace, justice with peace. Sustainable and lasting peace. I'd say a final peace. Thus, the key issue here is how to build a peace that would include security guarantees for Ukraine, she explained. The Italian Prime Minister has also addressed recent public tensions between convicted felon Trump, Volodymyr Zelensky, and Munchkin JD Vance. I don't know if you've seen the memes of him looking like a munchkin. It's hilarious. "This is not the kind of debate that is usually held in front of cameras," Meloni remarked, highlighting the unusual nature of the discussions. Meloni's comments followed a high-level summit in London where leaders from several EU countries gathered to discuss European security and support for Ukraine. The meeting aimed to assess collective strategies and commitments in response to the ongoing Russian-Ukraine war. Giorgia Meloni cautioned against divisions within the West ahead of a European leader summit in London. Speaking at Downing Street on Sunday, which was the 2nd of March, she told UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer, It is very, very important that we avoid the risk that the West divides. Emphasizing the need for cooperation, Meloni stated, "We are all very committed about a goal that we all want to achieve, which is just and lasting peace in Ukraine." She highlighted the role of the UK and Italy in bridge building and proposed a meeting between US and European leaders. Hey, Meloni may be a homophobe, but at least she understands what's important here and one aspect of the political climate. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky met with the Italian Prime Minister on the same day, March 2nd, to discuss a coordinated approach to ending the war with Russia. No one is interested in the continuation and quick return of the war except for Putin, Zelensky said, stressing the need for unity among Ukraine's allies. Ukraine needs peace backed by reliable security guarantees, he added. At a high-level summit in London, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced the European leaders had agreed to draft a Ukrainian peace plan to present to the United States. "This is not a moment for talk. It's time to act," Starmer declared, calling for a decisive leadership. The meeting followed a tense exchange between Zelensky and Trump, which everyone's been talking about for the whole entire week, so we don't need to go back on that. If you don't know about it, you should. No one will shut up about the meeting. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen highlighting the need to increase defense spending, warning that Europe must make itself indigestible for potential invaders. Talks about exploring the possibility of European peacekeeping role with support from the US in intelligence, air cover, and deterrence against further Russian aggression. French President Emmanuel Macron previously suggested a 1-month ceasefire covering air and sea attacks, but not ground combat. He also proposed deploying European troops if a broader peace deal were reached, though details remained unclear. Amid ongoing friction with convicted felon Trump, White House National Security Advisor Mike Waltz criticized Zelensky, suggesting the U.S. needs a leader willing to secure a lasting peace with Russia. Yeah, you forgot that important word, just. A just peace, okay? That's what we're focused on here, guys. Not any peace, a just peace. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov accused Europe of prolonging the conflict by supporting Zelensky with bayonets in the form of peacekeeping units. How dare you defend these guys from being invaded? You should have just let us walk in there and take the whole country. Despite divisions, European leaders reaffirmed their support for Ukraine. There will be diplomacy for the sake of peace, Zelensky stated, noting that he left London with Europe's clear support. Starmer positioned himself as a bridge between Europe and the US, ensuring Kyiv remains central in any negotiations. So there's your news on no Italian troops dropping in on Ukraine. Well, for now anyways. We'll see what happens when, Russia starts invading the entirety of Eastern Europe. And for now, yet again, we're just kind of talking about soft solutions to the problem. Because I don't want them to go to the hard solutions, which is, bombing Russia and having a world war. I'm not saying that's the solution. I don't want that to happen either. But it's looking more and more like somebody's about to drop the ball and there's going to be a war starting somewhere else other than Ukraine. So maybe not today, maybe not this year, but looks like we're hitting that wall. We're getting very close to hitting that wall.
Yep. And of course, Italy has one of the greatest armies in the history of the world. But that was centuries ago. Anyway.
Yeah. Millennia ago. Yeah, remember when they had an empire?
It was called the Roman Empire. Anyway, there's your non sequitur.
All right, let's roll my segue, and then we can get to your story.
The story of measles, as we're going to shorten these stories so longer segments are longer. Anyway, so.
All right, I've got accurate metaphor and simile.
Accurate metaphor about measles. This is from USA Today. It's going to try to report on the update of the measles outbreak and all the ignorant parents out there that think, oh, you're going to make me get my kid get a shot. This is U.S. measles cases rise after first death. See which states have reported, yes, a child has died from measles in this year, 2025. So which states have reported the measles in 2025? This is from Mary Walrath Holdridge. As Texas continues to contend with the growing measles outbreak that has sickened 159 and killed 1, other states are reporting cases of highly contagious disease. Cases have likewise spread to multiple other states, with the strongest concentration outside of Texas being just over the border in New Mexico. Oh, wonderful. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is only updating case numbers monthly, probably because they're short-handed, meaning the task of tracking and announcing the spread has fallen to individual states in the weeks in between. The Texas Department of State Health Services, which updates its measles cases on Tuesdays and Fridays, announced Tuesday that confirmed infections were up to 159, mostly children. All but 5 cases were unvaccinated people or people with unknown vaccination status. And the most, 107, occurred in far west Texas in Gaines County, which had a 13.6% rate of non-medical vaccine exemptions in K through 12 students, according to 23-24 state data. Oh yeah, I'm going to decide that everybody gets sick because it's my right. God, what a bunch of babies. 22 people have been hospitalized as of Tuesday, and 1, an unvaccinated child, has died. Oh, you're so smart. You people are so smart. In New York, the number has held steady at 9, according to the New Mexico Department of Health on Tuesday in Lea County, which is just across from the Texas state line, and Gaines County. 4 of those infected were under the age of 18 and unvaccinated, while the other 5 were adults, also unvaccinated or unknown vaccination status. Meanwhile, Giorgia, which is a hell of a long ways from Texas, Giorgia officials confirmed to USA Today on Tuesday that the state still had 3 confirmed cases. The Rhode Island Health Department said the state had 1 case, while Alaska confirmed it had 2. On Monday, New Jersey confirmed that it had 3 cases, and New York City reported 2. And I guess there's a map you could look at USA Today in case you forgot what the United States looks like or where the states are located. Or you never knew in the first place. Or you go, look, a bunch of dots. A bunch of dots on the map, just like measles. Isn't it highly apt, I guess the word is, appropriate. Measles is a highly contagious vaccine preventable disease caused by a virus that primarily most severely affects children, according to the World Health Organization. It affects the respiratory tract before spreading throughout the body. The virus is one of the most contagious infectious diseases to exist. So contagious, in fact, that 90% of unvaccinated people who are exposed end up contracting it. Additionally, 1 in 5 of those people end up hospitalized, according to the CDC. Measles is spread through contact with affected nasal or throat secretions, according to the WHO. It's airborne and mostly commonly spread through actions like coughing, sneezing, and breathing. The measles virus can remain contagious in the air or on contaminated surfaces for up to 2 hours. Just stress that. You have to disinfect every room you go into. According to the CDC, measles symptoms appear 7 to 14 days after contact with the virus and typically include high fever, cough, runny nose, and watery eyes. Measles rash appears 3 to 5 days after the onset of the first symptoms. When the rash appears, a person's fever may spike to more than 104 degrees Fahrenheit. There's a list of the symptoms, other symptoms: high fever, cough, runny nose, and with sneezing, red watery eyes, loss of appetite, diarrhea, reddish-brown rash that can spread across the entire body, Koblick spots, tiny white spots that may appear inside the mouth 2 or 3 days after symptoms begin. Small raised bumps may also appear on top of the flat red spots. The spots may become joined together, spread from the head to the rest of the body. What a lovely disease. And of course, we got the RFK Jr., the nation's top official. No, that isn't satire. Asked parents to consider measles vaccination for their children, but did not outright suggest that. Oh, look at you. We have outbreak. Referring to the deadly outbreak as a call to action. What action is that there exactly, Shit for Brains? If they would have taken action and made mandatory measles shots, they wouldn't have this problem. Don't go to school unless your kid. If you don't want your kid to go to school, fine. He ain't going to school. He'd be stupid. And then we're going to make you pay a fine. That's what they ought to be doing. Instead, we're going to go, oh, it's up to parents whether they want to kill the community. Referring to the deadly outbreaks, call to action. Right. Let's spread
the right
this
to
everywhere.
murder.
Right. Referring to the deadly outbreak as a call to action, Kennedy wrote in an opinion piece published on Sunday at Fox News Digital, Fox News, just like Fox Opinion Channel, that parents should consult with physicians about MMR vaccine, which also covers mumps and rubella. Yeah, they should consult with the physicians that say, get your kid vaccinated, you moron. This is simple parenting 101, by the way. Used to be. Now it's all, oh, it's so controversial. No, it's not. It's not controversial. It's controversial because you think it is. Because morons like RFK Jr. exist. Despite RFK Jr. saying he isn't anti-vaccine during confirmation hearings, he has in the past falsely linked vaccine to autism and urged parents to not vaccinate their children. Though the current outbreak resulted in the first measles death in a decade, Dingleberry nuts there, the brainworm boy, initially called the surge in cases not unusual. Oh yeah, right. The decision to, not unusual in countries that don't have vaccines. The decision to vaccinate is a personal one. This guy is fucking stupid. Vaccines not only protect individual children from measles, but also contribute to community immunity, protect those who are unable to be vaccinated due to medical reasons. Okay, well, why did you say that personal one garbage? It's just like,
yeah, it's personal, but you know, if you personally don't do it, we all die. But it's personal, you know.
Here's what you say to people: it's very important that you get your kids vaccinated. Not that it's a personal. It's very important. It's very important that you wipe your ass. Not it's a personal decision. You know?
Yeah.
There's your story. There's your story.
Well,
Jesus. It's very important that you wear pants to work this morning. Very important. You wear pants to
No, it's a personal thing, actually. I'm not wearing pants.
That's a personal decision. Fucking we're this what a world to wake up to every day. Really.
Yeah, right. It's like, why isn't this entire situation like COVID? Well, I have no idea. I guess people need to start dying by the thousands and the millions before people take any of these sicknesses. Like, I don't understand the whole argument, right? Oh, it can give you autism. Okay, at least you're alive. Autism isn't a death sentence like measles is. Measles is a death sentence, okay?
That's because people treat their children like vanity projects.
Yeah.
And, like...
Wait, if my children are stupid, that means I'm stupid. That can't be the truth. I'm smart.
Right.
All right.
Wait,
there's my simile. Wrong. There's my metaphor.
Yeah, right. Oh, sorry.
Let's roll your segue, and let's get into my story about giant fires. Sadly. All right, gotta give me a mixed metaphor.
A mixed metaphor, okay.
This is local news, or at least the country I'm living in, local news. There's been a huge fire in the center of Arnhem, and a lot of, especially historical places, have been destroyed. It concerns shops with apartments from above. So there's a lot of places in the Netherlands which have like a shop, and then above it is a bunch of apartments. We tried to get everyone out, said the fire department spokesperson. The emergency service think that they succeeded because the police knocked on all the doors. However, the fire department cannot yet enter the buildings to confirm. Now, they haven't seen if they can find any dead bodies, and somebody's cat got caught on fire. It's unclear how many people who live in the directly affected area have lost their homes. The Zaanstraat, Varkenstraat, Duiselsteeg, and Roosmarensteeg, Rosemary, blocks were particularly affected. According to the spokesperson for Gelderland Midden Safety Region, 7 to 10 shops with apartments above them were lost. In addition to the Salo, Yo, Etos, and the body shop. No, not the body shop! That's where I get all my moisturizer. Well, not specifically for the Arnhem one. I think I'll survive. More businesses were reduced to ashes, according to the spokesperson. A local police officer who was on their way to the fire at around 6:50 a.m., so this happened this morning, reported one of the reporters from the De Gelderland that no injuries or deaths have been reported, but he could not rule out the possibility that there might be victims after all. The intensity of the fire had decreased somewhat around 7 a.m., so within 10 minutes from going to the fire, this officer reported that there's only a red glow above Arnhem, and it was significantly less than it was before, now mainly white smoke caused by extinguishing with water, the newspaper reported. According to the fire department, the fire is not yet under control, and the surrounding buildings are being kept wet. We can only extinguish from the outside because these are old buildings. They burn very badly, according to a spokesperson. This is disastrous for a historic city center, said Deputy Mayor Kathleen Bouwkamp. Everything is done now to save the blocks around it. There are narrow alleys, and the historic buildings are close together. Public transport in Arnhem has been disrupted by a huge fire. Travelers are warned via the departure time size on Arnhem Central that their journey may be different than the timetable indicates. Yeah, we have to avoid the entire center of Arnhem. The city center will remain closed for at least hours, the Gelderland Midden Safety Region announced. This is not only due to the firefighting, asbestos has probably been released. Where exactly and how much is not clear. Remember, European cities are much older than American ones, so there's buildings from the 15th and 16th century in the center of Arnhem that probably never got renovated. Asbestos for everyone! You get asbestos! Cleaning it up will probably have to be done by specialists, and that could be a time-consuming job. Sidewalks and streets in the city center are full of soot particles. In an office complex on Williamsplein, everyone has to take off their shoes for fear of asbestos being carried inside. Sidewalks and streets in the city center are full of soot particles. Oh, sorry, I read that. A part of the city center has been cordoned off with orange tape, indicating that you are entering an area where there may be hazardous substances. Journalists present with the cordoned-off areas were asked by the police to wear face masks. Red and white ribbons are there for so-called outer circle, which is to ensure that the emergency services can do their work properly and are not hindered by people who have no business being there. So if you don't need to be there, don't bother anyone. Curious people are asked not to come to the center to give the emergency services space to do their work. On the A50 motorway, matrix signs already asked drivers to avoid the center of Arnhem. According to the fire department spokesperson, this is a once-in-a-lifetime fire. We hope that it will remain 1 and 2 blocks that we can let burn out in a controlled manner, he told the newspaper earlier, I guess. According to the spokesman, the fire started in a house on Varkenstraat. The cause is not yet known. The entire block up to the Rozenmara Steg must be considered lost. The buildings in question date from the 16th to 17th centuries. Unfortunately, they cannot show... According to the municipality, some 60 to 80 people who had to leave their homes have been accommodated for in the city office. It remains to be seen whether or when they can return. A group of about 15 evacuees initially waited in front of the closed city hall. Weird. We could have gone here, but it looks closed. They probably won't open until 9 o'clock, one of them told a newspaper reporter. We heard from the police that there would be coffee and tea at the city hall. Very strange. Unfortunately, that is all the news we have for now, so I guess there might be some updates later on what caused the fire. But it's sad that so many old buildings have been destroyed, especially because they're causing a toxic spraying of asbestos into the street. It's a double sadness there. You lose an old building, and you also are your lungs are full of asbestos. So hopefully the emergency services can get the job done and be able to stop the fire completely. And also, nobody has been hurt from any of the fires that broke out. Because, like they said, they haven't been able to search the houses yet if there's anybody who didn't survive. Because there might be, some person who lives alone, right? And so I don't know who's missing because there's nobody there to account for them. But there's your big story coming out of the Netherlands. Giant fire. Destroys historic buildings. Releases asbestos in the air. Got a mixed metaphor for me?
Yes, and where there's smoke, there's fire, and fire is also a destroyer and a creator. Because we used to be a ball of just molten free stuff. Created by our sun because we were captured in its orbit. Anyway, we're explaining my metaphor.
Okay, let's roll for my segue here.
Okay, how well can you see my board here? There it is. There's the board.
Another mixed metaphor.
A mixed metaphor about movie quotes. Look at my cheat sheet up here on the board. My notes up. All right. We're going to talk about movies that are quotable. The one I quoted at the start of the show was not on the list. It's a movie called They Live, and I guess it might be quotable. I don't know. I don't remember it that well, other than there's aliens among us. There's aliens among us, and they look like humans, and you can only see them by wearing special glasses.
First, they're going to eat her, and then they're going to eat me. Oh, my God. That's a different movie, I think, though.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say The Simpsons. Homer Simpson talking to the alien. Don't eat me. I have a wife and children. Eat them. Oh, Homer, man. All right, number one quotable movie is Scarface with Al Pacino. Scarface.
Okay, I need to turn off the background. The background blurring because it's blurring out your list. There you go. We can see it now.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Is this better now? Okay. Always. Scarface, of course, the most famous one, I think, is "Say hello to my little friend." That's your favorite. And also, there was ones that I always tell the truth, even when I lie. And you need people like me. You need people like me. So you point your fucking fingers and say, "That's a bad guy." Anyway, those are
as he continues to smuggle cocaine.
Right. Well, these are good. Scarface was a Cuban refugee. Number 12, Dirty Dancing. Of course, most of these have a signature one. This one, of course, is "Nobody puts baby in the corner," and I'm not exactly sure why nobody puts baby in the corner, but it's never been explained.
Because she's so great at dancing. I actually watched that movie for the first time. I never saw it before. I only knew the quote, so I watched it like last year, I think, and I was like, "Oh, she's in the." They were trying to not let her dance on stage. She wanted to go up there, but they put her in a corner.
But there's this actual process involved in putting someone in a corner. It's like, I gotta physically put her there. Anyway. There's other ones like "You just put your pickle on everybody's plate, college boy, and leave the hard stuff to me," or "Fight harder, huh?"
Pickle.
This is not a threat. Fight harder, huh? I don't see you fighting so hard, baby. I don't see you running up to daddy telling him I'm your guy, or says Patrick Swayze. This is not a tragedy. A tragedy is 3 men trapped in a mine. Our police dogs used in Birmingham, because we wanted to
be topical.
Be topical for the time period that Dirty Dancing took place.
Yeah, because that movie was based. Movie was based in the 60s, right? But it was filmed in the 80s.
Yeah, at the beginning, it's this. She's narrating. That was the summer of 1963 when everybody called me baby, and it didn't occur to me to mind. I like being called baby. I guess why not? Number 11, as you count this backwards. Number 11, The Godfather. "Leave the gun, take the cannoli" is my favorite. "Leave the gun, take the cannoli." Of course, says, "I'm going to make you an offer I can't refuse." And there's other ones, of course. In Sicily, "Women are more dangerous than shotguns." That's a good one. Or the one James Caan said was, "I don't want my brother coming out with just his dick in his hand." But he's hiding the gun in the bathroom. Number 4, quotable, as they get more, and a lot. But this is heavily slanted towards comedy, because I think comedy has the best quotes. They're always funny.
So in some cases, some movies which are not comedies have comedic quotes too, right?
Some comedies are profound if you're paying attention. Anyway, the number 10 is Napoleon Dynamite, which is a great quote. Lots of great quotes anyway. Tina, you fat lard, come get your dinner. You know, or ligers are pretty much my favorite animal. Do chickens have talons? And my favorite, your mother goes to college.
Vote Pedro. That was the thing when I was in high school. Everyone had a friggin' Vote Pedro shirt.
Oh,
Everyone.
yeah. Vote Pedro.
For like
Vote
that
Pedro,
whole
yeah.
year after the movie came out.
That's more of a meme than a quote, but I don't know. Yeah. I caught you a delicious bass is a great line. And of course, Pedro's line, vote for me and your wildest dreams will come true. Or when Napoleon's mom, knock it off, Napoleon, just make yourself a dang quesadilla. Or, again, Pedro saying, oh, build her a cake or something. A great quotable movie. One of my favorite movies. I can watch Napoleon. I want to watch other people watch Napoleon Dynamite and go, you know, their mouth dropping open. What is this shit? Number 9 is Ghostbusters. I don't know if it's more quotable than the other movies, but it's in here. Of course, there's everything was fine with our system until the power grid was shut off by Dickless here. And of course, the next line was, yes, it's true. This man has dick. Or, we came, we saw, we kicked ass. Yeah, a lot of these are Bill Murray. Bill Murray has a lot of movies on this one.
He really did have that clever tongue.
Of course, this is Dan Aykroyd's movie, so he didn't even have the best lines in it, even though he came up with the idea.
That's
Fire and brimstone. Here's another one. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies, rivers and seas boiling, 40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes, the dead rising from the grave, human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Then there's Dan Aykroyd line. I tried to think of something, the most harmless thing, something I love from my childhood, something that could never possibly destroy us. Stay Puft, the Marshmallow Man. And number 8 on our list is the Blues Brothers. Lots of great lines, I think. But we'll cut it down to a few. Like, it's 106 miles from Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, a half pack of cigarettes. It's dark and we're wearing sunglasses. Or, I hate Illinois Nazis. I hate Illinois Nazis. Or, actually, the most famous quote from it, we're on a mission from God, which he says a bunch of times. Dan Aykroyd again. And the police dispatcher who announces use of unnecessary violence in the apprehension of the Blues Brothers has been approved. Then there's where they go into the country music club. What kind of music do you usually have? Oh, we got both types, country and western.
Oh, wow. Both types.
Jake asking Elwood, how often does this train go by? Elwood says, so often you won't even notice it. And of course, when Jake is begging to Carrie Fisher, his old girlfriend he left at the altar, at the very end. I ran out of gas. I had a flat tire. I didn't have enough money for cab fare. My tux didn't come back from the cleaners. An old friend came in from out of town. Somebody stole my car. There was an earthquake, a terrible flood, locusts. It wasn't my fault. I swear to God. Hard to remember that one. But she forgives Jake, and of course, he dumps her again.
Yeah.
Number 7, the one I quote a lot. It's Caddyshack, because I'm always quoting Bill Murray just when he says the following. So I got that going for me, which is nice. There's a longer speech, so I'm gonna read it. So we finished the 18th, and he's gonna stiff me. He's caddying for the Dalai Lama in his story. So we finished the 18th hole, and he's gonna stiff me, and I say, hey Lama, hey, how about a little something, for the effort, And he says, there won't be any money. When you die on your deathbed, you'll receive total consciousness. So I got that going for him, which is nice. Anyway, Judge Smales, of course, the heavy in this one. You should play with Dr. Beeper and myself. I mean, he's been club champion for 3 years running, and I'm no slouch myself. And of course, Chevy Chase, who says, don't sell yourself short, Judge. You're a tremendous slouch. And that's one of my favorite lines. And then Rodney Dangerfield steals the show with lines like, "Oh, this is the worst looking hat I ever saw. When you buy a hat like this, I bet you get a bowl of soup, huh? Oh, but it looks good on you." Another Rodney line. "Oh, is this your wife? Oh, is this your wife? Oh, lovely lady. Hey, baby, you must have been something before electricity." Or another Rodney. "Hey, Doll, could you scare up another round over table over here and tell the cook that this is low-grade dog food? I had better food at the ball game, you know. This steak still has marks. This steak still has marks where the jockey is hitting it. Can't stop laughing." Another one. "Hey, loosen up, will you? You're a lot of women, you know that? You want to make $14 the hard way?" I'm sorry, Rodney. First, Judge Smales saying to his nephew Spalding, "You'll get nothing and like it." And one more Rodney. "Look at that one. The last time I saw a mouth like that, it had a hook in it." All right, number 6, actually. On our list as we're going backwards. Airplane. All of the movies.
Surely you must be joking.
Exactly. Of course, the full context is the doctor, played by Leslie Nielsen, asking the Ted Stryker, "Can you fly this plane and land it?" Ted Stryker, "Surely you can't be serious." And of course, Romack says, "I am serious, and don't call me Shirley." That's one of your most quotable movie lines.
Don't call me Shirley.
Then there's the one as the doctor also says, you better tell the captain we got to land as soon as we can. This woman has to be gotten to a hospital." And the flight attendant says, "A hospital? What is it?" He says, "It's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now." And of course, there's Steve McCroskey, played by Lloyd Bridges. "Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines." And of course, all of these quotes are almost directly taken from a movie called 0 Hour, made in 1957.
Really?
Not the funny ones, but the way they expound on the original lines.
Yeah.
And of course, you have the passenger who's talking to Ted Stryker and says, "Nervous?" And Ted Stryker says, "Yes." And passenger, "First time?" And Stryker says, "No, I've been nervous plenty of times." And of course, there's the infamous one, I like my coffee like I like my men. Black. And number 5, Casablanca. Oh, we're going back in the midst of time to non-comedy for a minute. "Here's looking at you, kid. Of all the gin joints in all the towns in the world, she walks in a mine, I say." Anyway, I stick my neck out. This is the
beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Exactly. Louis, I got that one on there a little bit later. Louis, this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. So you remember it. Very quotable.
I had to watch this film 5 times for different films. It's a film person film, yeah.
It is a really good movie, full of conflict.
Yeah.
And if that plane leaves the ground and you're not with him, you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of your life. And we did Play It, Sam, which is one of the misquoted ones in movie history. It's not Play It Again, Sam. It's Play It, Sam. And We'll Always Have Paris. And one more from the local sheriff, paid by Claude Rains, Round Up the Usual Suspects, which became the title of a movie, Usual Suspects. Number 4, Office Space. Office Space might be the most quotable movie here, but it's a number 4 because, well, whatever. This is the order I thought of them, actually. I almost forgot. I'm almost so going to need you to go ahead and come in on Sunday. Well, we lost some people this week. We need to sort of play catch up. Thanks. If you would just go ahead and I'm going to need those PPS reports ASAP. You know, the Lomberg, the Lomberg drawing. So if you could do that, that would be great. And that was. So why does it say paper jam and there's no paper jam? You know, thing like that. my favorite. Why should I change my name? He's the one who sucks. Let's talk about Michael Bolton. It looks like somebody has a case of the Mondays. That's just there's so great one. There's 50, 60 great lines, but I can't go through all of them. Number 3, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Fought in your general direction.
We are the knights who say me.
Right. Exactly. It's just a flesh wound.
You must bring us a shrubbery.
That's right. Well, I didn't vote for you. Some watery tart distributing swords is no basis for a government. Bring out your dead. I mean, great, right? Are you suggesting coconuts migrate? That's, just so many. She turned me into a newt. You just laugh at her, right? Man. Anyway, hamster. I'm sorry, your mother was a hamster and your father smelt the bilberries. Now go away or I'll taunt you a second time. Number 2 is Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolate. That's your favorite one. I'm not a smart man, Jenny. Stupid is a stupid
Forrest,
does.
run! That's like the first big quote in the movie.
Yep. It's number 3 in this list this guy made. Stupid is as stupid does. Don't forget that one. My mom always said you got to put your past behind you before you can move on. You have to do the best with what God gave you. My mom always said dying was part of life. I sure wish it wasn't. What's normal anyways? Don't ever let anybody tell you they're better than you.
They should have made a movie about Forrest's mom. Such a wise woman.
My name is Benjamin Buford Blue, but people call me Bubba. Just wanted to like one of those old redneck boys. Can you believe that? My name is Forrest Gump. People call me Forrest Gump. The Big Lebowski is number 1 on our list. The Big Lebowski. Shut the fuck up, Donnie. The 20 best. We can do 20 best, but there's a 20 best article. I didn't feel like transcribing everything. Careful, man. The dude abides. Good night, sweet prince. His dudeness, or El Duderino, if brevity is, the old brevity thing. Those old quotes. Shut the fuck up, Donnie. Donnie,
yeah, I was like, that was that one. Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
That room really, that rug really, what was that quote? You're being very undude. Hell, I can get you a toe by 3 o'clock this afternoon with nail polish. Forget it, Donnie. You're out of your element. Let's see what else we got here. Anyway, there's your most quotable movie. Fuck it, man. Let's go bowling. Nobody fucks with a Jesus. You're entering a world of pain. That rug really tied the room together. That's what I was looking for. That rug really tied the room together. So what's your list? Your movie list. Most quotables. At least according to me.
Yeah, you really stepped up to plate. Oh, here, wait, let me put myself there. You really stepped up to plate and sailed through with flying colors with that list of quotable films. Most quotable films. The most quotable films.
I'm always sailing through plates.
Yep, always sailing with flying colors. Okay, let's get our next segue for you, and we can go into my culture news. Hope you have a limerick about Glastonbury, because you're gonna have to write one. Get that pencil and paper out. Alright, we've got some news for the headliners for Glastonbury Festival, which we previously did not know who was. I think even somebody like, what decided they weren't going to do it. I can't even remember anymore because that was like 20 years ago in the news cycle. After months of speculation, this is on Euronews Culture by David Moorplant, the headliners have been announced for this year's Glastonbury Festival, with Olivia Rodrigo, the 1975, and Charlie XCX headlining. They will be joined by Rod Stewart, which we already knew about, Neil Young, and a pretty impressive lineup. Oh yeah, see, I thought Neil Young backed out, but maybe he went back in. The lineup for Glastonbury 2025 has been announced. Rodrigo, 22, becomes the second youngest headliner of all time after Billie Eilish, who was 20 when she topped the bill in 2022. The festival returned to Worthy Farm in Pilton, Somerset, from June 25th to 29th, and will mark the debut of Glastonbury performances by Alanis Morissette, Noah Kahan, Gracie Abrams, and US rap phenomenon Doechii, who recently won Best Rap Album this year at the Grammys. Rock legend Neil Young, who had already been announced as a Saturday night headliner with Rod Stewart, playing the Sunday afternoon Legend slot. Returning to Glasgow, acts include Fatboy Slim, Wolf Alice, The Libertines, Biffy Clyro, Wet Leg, and Scissor Sisters. Elsewhere, across the weekend, are likes of Gary Newman, Ezra Collective, Kneecap, Deftones, and Ray, St. Vincent, K Tempest, Weezer, Future Islands, Self-Esteem, C-Matt, and Giorgia Smith. Organizers have promised that many more acts and attractions are still to be announced in the coming months. Frustratingly, general tickets, which cost a whooping £373 or 446 euros, plus a £5 booking fee, already sold out in 35 minutes. Damn, that's just for the general tickets. With the festival using a queuing system on purchase day for the first time, a limited number of tickets will be available next month. Glastonbury will take a fallow year next year to allow the farmland to recover before returning in 2027. Let's read about this queue system. Is this going to end the ticket buying chaos? This is from Johnny Walfitz. After a year of chaotic system where people furiously refreshed the landing page, Glastonbury has moved to a queuing system ahead of the 2025 ticket sale. Anyone who has tried to get tickets to the UK's biggest music festival will know how stressful it can be. In recent years, Glastonbury has reliably sold out within hours of tickets going on sale, as millions of people furiously refresh their hundreds of laptops, phones, and tablets in a desperate bid to be among the lucky few to get a ticket. In an attempt to quell the chaos, Glastonbury has announced a change to the ticketing system ahead of this year's sales this month. The automatic queuing system will be in place ahead of the coach ticket sale on the 14th of November and the general sale on the 17th of November. So, that's what happened in last November. This time, anyone who's already seen the See Tickets webpage when the tickets go on sale will be randomly entered into a queue. From there, a progress bar will indicate how long before the opportunity to buy your tickets. If you click on the page after the sale begins, then you will be added to the back of the queue. As before, once you successfully through the purchasing phase, you can buy in a group up to 6 tickets. The system is a change from the previous festival. Hopefuls had to go to the log into the See Tickets page after the sale opened, refreshing routinely in hope that they would be able to get through the deluge and other concurrent music fans to the purchasing page. Now, the Glastonbury system is more akin to ticketing queues used by recent huge gigs from Taylor Swift and Oasis, which still got criticism even after that. Previously, hopefuls would have to set up multiple devices to get tickets to the festival. Ahead of this year's sale, Glastonbury has warned that running multiple devices or tabs simultaneously to attempt to access the website may lead to your IP address being blocked, preventing you from buying a ticket. The same applies to sharing cookies and queue IDs. Wow, they really went into the networking of it all, didn't they? Their advice is to stick to one device per IP address, and please do not refresh your page once you are in the queue. As before, Glastonbury has got a registration system in place so that ticket hopefuls will have to have signed up ahead of the sale. Glastonbury tickets are tied to individuals with a picture ID on them to ensure they aren't resold by touts. Hell yeah! Get those resellers! Once again, ticket prices have risen, which we already covered, and now will cost £373.50 or 454.50 euros. The hope is that the new system will make it easier and fairer for people to access the heavily oversubscribed festival. 2024's offering was jam-packed feast for senses with highlight sets from huge stars like Dua Lipa. Some dedicated attendees are concerned this new system will disrupt their previously airtight setups with multiple devices logged in at 9 a.m. in huge group chats and shared spreadsheets and organizing ticket buying like they're captaining a spaceship. Well, that's a good thing, I think. But in an ideal world, this will streamline the route to successful ticket purchases and make it more accessible and fairly allocated among all trying to go. So, if you are lucky enough to get a ticket, make sure that you are ready for the Glastonbury Festival on the 25th and 29th of June this year. There's my stories on Glastonbury. Get hyped for the people who can afford I would never pay that much money for anything. I'll just watch it on live streams or something, you know. I just can't think of spending basically the same amount as like half my rent to go see some live show. I mean, it's a festival, so there's a lot of people to see. I just can't. I can't think of it doing such a thing. I can't. Just thinking about spending that much money on one thing that isn't needed for me to live. Too much. I'm just too much of a miser for Glastonbury, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe make a friend that will be generous and say thank you, right? Go camp in a field for a week. Hopefully it never rains in England. You ready for the limerick?
Yep.
There once was a festival called Glastonbury, yearly held in the Somerset Territory. I had to rhyme it. I'm sorry. Let's do it again. There once was a festival. I can't read my own writing. It's really terrible. There once was a festival called Glastonbury, yearly held in the Somerset Territory. Eilish and Weezer and Fatboy Slim, Neil Young and Rod Stewart before they go dim. That the tickets will. The tickets will destroy your budgetary. That's the word I was looking for. Destroy. Actually, I can't even read the words I just wrote. The tickets will destroy your budgetary. Anyway, there's your
Indeed.
cry.
Wow, yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. So expensive. All right. Let me roll the wheel for the final segue of today, and then we can get into our day in history.
Oh, I gotta send you a video. Or did I send
It's another mixed metaphor.
I did send you a video.
I've already got it. All good here.
I forgot that I did that. I'm not awake at all. Okay. What's
We never are.
What did you get?
I got the Oscars. Mick Jagger electrifies the Oscars with a hot Bob Dylan tape.
No.
That wasn't it?
What did you get on the wheel?
Oh, the wheel. A mixed metaphor. A mixed metaphor. Okay.
Okay. Another mixed metaphor. Jeez.
I like them. They're easy. I just put two metaphors together. Yeah.
This day in history, Italian Renaissance artist Michelangelo, who exerted an unparalleled influence on Western sculpture, painting, and architecture, and whose works rank among the most famous in existence. Anyway, it's his birthday. He was born in 1475 in the Republic of Florence. Happy birthday, Michelangelo, if you're watching. 1619 on this day, French satirist and dramatist Savinien Cyrano de Bergerac, who was the basis of many romantic but unhistorical legends, was born in Paris. Yes, Cyrano de Bergerac was a real person. 1820, U.S. President James Monroe signed the Missouri Compromise, which is another stupid thing that led to the Civil War, which allowed Missouri to be admitted to the Union as a 24th state. The legislation marked the beginning of the sectional conflict over the extension of slavery that led to the American Civil War. Because America has always been a big fucking lot of stupid compromises. 1834, Toronto, now the financial center, commercial center of Canada, was incorporated. For happy birthday to Toronto, turning 100 and what is that? Almost 200. 1834 would have been 9 years from 200, so 191. 1836, the Alamo in Texas fell to Mexican General Antonio Lopez de Santillana after a 13-day siege. 13 days of That's a really small. If you've ever been to the Alamo, if you've ever gone to San Antonio, take 10 minutes and tour the Alamo. That's all it's going to take. I might be exaggerating, but there ain't much there. It really isn't. Just okay, walk around it a couple times, go inside, look at the graffiti. Okay, some tour guide will tell you stuff. 1853, Giuseppe Verdi's opera La Traviata premiered in La France Opera House in Venice. Getting all cultured. 1857, U.S. Chief Justice Robert B. Taney announced the Dred Scott decision, making slavery illegal in all U.S. territories, which is complete horseshit. Of course, 3 years later, we're in war because of states, or 4 years later, we're at war because of states' rights. But the Dred Scott decision said, essentially, if a runaway slave runs away to a free state, that another state can come and take him back. What happened to states' rights?
Yeah, right.
In other words, the Civil War was never about states' rights. It was what we want to keep our slaves because they work for free. In 1869, at a meeting at a Russian Chemical Society, Russian chemist Dmitry Mendeleev presented the first periodic table. Clever guy. Clever guy. 1899, this day, the German company Bayer trademarked the name aspirin for its drug made from salicylic acid. Fun fact, Bayer also came up with heroin, and we're selling it as a children's cough medicine.
It sure works by putting him to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Can't argue against that.
Little Johnny, stop coughing. Anyway, 1927, Latin American author Gabriela Garcia Marquez was born in Aracataca, Colombia. In 1957, Ghana became an independent nation led by Prime Minister Kwame Nkrumah. 1964, Cassius Clay changed his name to Muhammad Ali, which was given to him by his spiritual mentor Elijah Muhammad, leader of the Nation of Islam. 1981, journalist Walter Cronkite signed off for the last time. He was known as the most trusted man in America. Signed off as anchorman of CBS Evening News. That was a long friggin' time ago, in 1981. I grew up with Walter Cronkite. He was literally on the news every night of my childhood. 1986, American painter Giorgia O'Keeffe passed away at the age of 98. She was a New Mexico resident whose well-known works include large floral paintings and natural forms, and especially flowers and bones. Died at the age of 98. Got to be 98. 2016, Nancy Reagan, first lady Nancy Reagan, died in Los Angeles. So there's that. She was married to Ronald Reagan. And we go to our feature event. 1924 was the day King Tut's tomb was opened. On this day, 1924, 101 years ago, the Egyptian government opened the mummy case of King Tutankhamun, who's the ruler of Egypt in the 14th century BCE, whose burial chamber had been discovered in 1922 by renowned British archaeologist Howard Carter. Our featured biography is Valentina Tereshkova, Soviet cosmonaut. She was the first woman in space, born March 6, 1937. She's now 88 today. I guess she's still around because it doesn't say she has passed away. She was born in Maslenikovo, Russia. Happy birthday to you. Other birthdays today. Humayun, the Mughal emperor, born in 1508. 1508. Happy birthday to that guy. Alan Greenspan, American economist, chairman of the Fed for 16 years or something. Born in 1926, so his 99th birthday. I'm not sure he's still around. We did Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Colombian author, born in 1927. Marion Barry, American activist and politician. Speaking of Glastonbury, there's a berry called the Marion berry that's growing out here. You can get Marion berry pie. It's like a big raspberry. 1936 is birthday for Marion Barry, the former mayor of Washington, D.C. And 1972, Shaquille O'Neal's birthday. Shaq's birthday. Shaq's turning 53 today. Happy birthday to that big dude. And what other days is it today? It is, besides, let's go down to the bottom. Oh, the front. Whatever happened? Oh, I must have clicked on, must actually click on the next page. All right. Let's get back. It's National Oreo Cookie Day, National White Chocolate Cheesecake Day. White chocolate cheesecake. Why would we be racial about this? Anyway, National Frozen Food Day also, so don't freeze your cheesecake. Well, your frozen cheesecake's actually pretty good, so you can do both. You have a frozen cheesecake and kill two things with one thing. Bad metaphor. Kill two things with one thing. Worst metaphor ever. National Slam the Scam Day. So again, a lot of people getting scammed by, phishing emails, phishing text messages. I get them all the time. Hi! Some anonymous number. Hey. Are you doing the thing? No, I'm not. Who are you? I'm Dan. I don't know who you are. Can we be friends? And I just never respond. Like, no. We can't be friends. You're trying to steal my freaking data and shit. Anyway, it's also National Dress Day. So I'm going to put on that red number today and wear it to work.
Hell yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. I don't have anything that fits. So there's your days. Those are your lists. Those are nonsense. And this is your wheel spin for today. March 6th, 2025 on Before Oreo Cookies and Cheesecake and Frozen Food.
That's so much things.
All right.
Oh, well, this has been Allison here from the Netherlands and Roger from the west coast of the US, where we're trying not to jump off the deep end of the bridge. For Friday, our news dump, which is tomorrow. There you go. I got my mixed metaphor in there. We will be dumping up all the news that you need to know before the weekend tomorrow, so you don't need to worry about it over the weekend. You can have a free, blissfully ignorant heavy weekend after tomorrow's show. So make sure you're subscribed to the Before Coffee Allie and Raj channel, and of course turn on the notifications so you know when we go live. Let us know if we did not cover what you think is a very quotable movie. Like Mean Girls, for example, very quotable. That wasn't in there. That's an example. And don't forget to like the video on YouTube. And let's go to our mic drop moment.
Please welcome Mick Jagger.
Damn it, Mick. That's loud. I gotta turn it down.
Look at him. He's dancing like Jagger or whatever.
He's only 82. Most 82-year-olds are in a home somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You're so kind. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. That's very kind of you. My goodness. I'm greatly honored to be invited to give this award for the best original song tonight. And much as I love doing it, I wasn't the first choice to give this award out. The producers really wanted Bob Dylan to do this. Bob didn't want to do it because he said the best songs this year were obviously in the movie A Complete Unknown.
Prejudiced.
Bob said, you should find somebody younger. I said, okay, I'm younger. I'm younger than Bob, I'll do it.
It's true, though.
So
Bob's old.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
He's turning 84 this year. 84.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.